Welcome, and thank you to Kai and everyone at Deutsche Goldmesse. It's a great conference. Okay, I'm gonna be quick, but I'm around if you have any follow-up questions. Please don't hesitate to find me. We are dedicated to discovery, and we have two properties, as Graham mentioned, in Armenia. My partner, Dennis Moore, founded the company. He went all over the world and just felt that Armenia offered the most opportunity relative to all the other possible areas, which included North and South America, where he cut his teeth. He discovered Tocantins and Cuyu. And we are the first mover in advantage. As far as I know, we're the only company doing active exploration drilling in the country. And we've done 10,000 meters over the last 12 months. Recently, we just finished 4,500 meters with our partner Teck on our flagship project called Vardenis, and those assays should be out in February. This is our board, Dennis, myself. We've got Randall Chadwin from B2 Gold, Rob First, who founded Echelon, and Derek White, who's been on the mining side for quite some time. Our cap table, we've got 72 million shares outstanding, 94 million fully diluted. About a month ago, that 94 would have been about 104. And we had some warrants. There were 10 million from a deal we did in 2023. And I'm a capital markets guy background. I'm not a geologist. And I've always not liked it when companies reprice options, extend warrants, or do those types of things. So we let those 10 million expire. And I mentioned that just because a few people have made comments that, why didn't you extend them? And it's just, warrants are, you have a time frame to deliver, and if you deliver, great, and if you don't deliver, too bad. And I was the largest participant in that round. So those 10 million warrants going away affected, me the most. And I should also mention on this chart, Teck is a 7% owner. We did a recent financing at 17 cents in September. And we released some assays on our other project, Eurosar, right after. And so the deal was done at 17 cents with a half warrant at 22, and we are at 7 cents now. And I'll jump to the catalyst right away before I get into the other details. But the catalysts are that we have a 500-meter hole from our non-Teck project that we're drilling right now. We're about 200 meters in, and that'll get out. The assays will get out in February. And we have the 4,500 meters from our Vardenis project, which we're doing with Teck, and those assays will also come out in February. And over 2026, we aim to add a third property, possibly a fourth. One for sure is going to be a greenfield. The other, we're working on getting a brownfield, and we'll have to see what happens there. All the brownfields in Armenia come with hair. Some are hairier than others. And this one is no exception. Armenia is a mining-friendly jurisdiction. They have no oil and gas. Their GDP is about 25 billion. They need metals and mining if they want to grow that GDP. It's right in the middle of the Tethyan Belt. 8 large metal mines is probably a bit of an exaggeration. You could make the case there's actually 2 large metal mines. Kazaran, which is a copper moly porphyry, and Sok, which is a gold mine. And then the third would be Amosar, which finally is going to have its first pour in Q2 of next year. And unfortunately, it's private now. If it was public, there'd probably be a little bit more noise around that first pour. But that's a big thing for Armenia. Zangezur, which owns Kazaran, is the largest taxpayer in the country. We did the deal on Vardenis with Teck on August 26, 2025. Teck is an outstanding partner. We just completed 4,500 meters of drilling on this property. The only holes that have been drilled before this were 800 meters by us on 2 holes, and then previous to us, Dundee Precious Metals had the property, and they did 1,200 meters shallow holes on a gold anomaly in the not where we're focused on. So we hope Tech spends its $15 million over 4 years, that they get their earn-in, and that we find a copper moly porphyry. And those assays, again, will be coming out in February. This is a map of Armenia. You can see Vardenis is Yerevan's kind of right in the middle, to the really in the center of the map. Vardenis is about 2.5 hours from the capital. The other yellow dot in the north is Urusar, and then which is also about 2.5 hours. Vardenis is 93 square kilometers. This is the work that we've done over the past 3 years. Under Dundee, they did that 1,200 meters and 7 shallow holes. They got a couple of sniffs, but nothing, no bonanza grade. And then they had another property in the country that was a producing gold mine that they sold. And when they sold that, they decided to leave the country. And the guy that did the drilling said, you know, you're leaving? I'll take it. And so when we went into the country, we did a deal with him, and we applied for the exploration license in 2023. And that's where we did the first 2 holes of 800 meters in 2023. In 23 and 24, that was the initial drilling. We also did a 23-kilometer IP survey, and we did a ground mag survey. And this year, we did an AMT survey, and we just completed the 4,561 meters of diamond drilling. This is a map of the drill locations. I'm going to skip ahead a slide. You can see on the left the Malian soil, and if you look back at the white square in the inlay map, you can see that the focus is on the moly zone there. The one on the right shows copper, and in the center of the property is really where the copper is showing up, and the geophysics we've done suggests that there's something electrical that's more in the moly zone. So anyway, so that's where our focus was, and you know, we started in the north and are working south, and I can tell you, like, you know, the assays, the lab doesn't lie. I joke miners lie, but the lab doesn't. But the core did look better as we went from north to south. Urusar is our other project, and so it's in the north. Nothing's really been done on this property since the 1960s. The Soviets drilled it back then, and then our neighbor, so if you see Armenia on this next slide, this is a very small-scale Russian privately owned gold mine. And they did some reconnaissance drilling on our property, which, you know, they don't share the core. But we can kind of see, like, we don't know exactly where they drilled because it's been over a dozen years. But they were not favorable or supportive in our endeavors to get the land. So it's not that we're enemies with them or anything like that. It's just I think that they wanted the land themselves. And the past work that we've done on this is similar to Vardenis. So pretty much every time we do something at Vardenis, we get them to come over to Urusar. So we did 3 IP lines, same thing in 2023, 2024. We did 3 AMT lines in 2025, right after we did them at Vardenis. And on this property, we've done 4,000 meters of total drilling. The first drilling program ended in November of last year, and we released the assays in February. They were not, they were disappointing, frankly, but we sold a royalty to EMX Franco-Nevada in January, which funded another 2,000 meters in the summer that we completed over June and July. And those ones were better. The market didn't like them, but internally, we feel like we're getting closer. And remember, to make a discovery in 4,000 meters is statistically anomalous. And that's how much drilling we've done, 4,000 meters. So we got the recent assays back in November, and this is just a map of the locations contrasted against the IP lines. And the first campaign was kind of right on the red line in the middle is the southern border of our property. And we sort of drilled the first campaign along where we saw historical activity. So by historical activity, I mean when the French, pre-World War I, there's adits and dumps that you can see. Our second campaign, based on some of the data from the IP survey, suggested that there was something more electrical to the north of where we were looking. And so that's where we focused. And we got some interesting geology, but we didn't get any bonanza strikes. So with the AMT survey that we just did, now remember, we did this in Vardenas and completed that in July. And we sent them over to Eurosar as the drilling was getting done there. And so they did the survey, and we got this data back afterwards. And on the right, you can see that there's an anomaly about 230 meters or so below the surface. So because the recent results were disappointing, and because the weather was still open, I decided that we should drill at least one hole, maybe two. So we're about 180 meters into this hole, and the aim is to go right through this anomaly. And we'll see if the geophysics is helpful. But you can't really do much more. We have all the data. It's saying there's something there. We have about another month, if the weather holds, to drill. And so we just did a capital raise to fund drilling. And so we're keeping the drill bit turning. And this assay, we'll get at least one hole done, and it'll be deeper. It's aimed to be a 500-meter hole. All the other holes have been about 200 meters. And that will be released likely in February. And we'll do another hole if we can, weather permitting. This is the soil. You can see the copper and the gold. There's something here, and there's 3 zones. And we've been focused on the zone to the left, which is, you could say the busiest, but it's also the most easily accessible. The summary, so if I was here a year ago, none of these boxes would have been checked, and I would have said, we're going to sign a royalty at Eurosar, and we're going to get a JV with a big giant mining company on Vardenas. You probably would have said, okay, whatever. And yet here we are a year later, and we did get the royalty done, and it did fund 2,000 meters, and we didn't hit, but we got more data on the property and a better understanding, and we got the option and JV agreement done with Teck, and they're a fabulous partner, and we just finished 4,500 meters with them, and those assays will come out in February. And this last box, which is secure an additional property in Armenia, that's in progress. I can tell you we just press released a map of one of the green fields we're looking at. And the brown field will be interesting if we can get it because it comes with a resource. And if it comes with a resource, all of a sudden now, I can have different financing conversations than come to my knees begging investors for money. So that's really it about the company. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I've been to Armenia this summer. Interesting, bit rough country. Anyway, how do you get your drill equipment shipped into Armenia? Given its
we don't. They have local rigs there. I mentioned the driller who drilled Vardenas took the option after Dundee left. We did the deal with him, and he's our driller. He's got 9 rigs.
spare parts? I mean, you're squeezed between Turkey and Iran.
Yeah, it's not a problem. So if something breaks, it takes about a week would be the most. Usually you can get it done within a day or two.
How's your government support? How long does it take to get additional permissions, let's say?
Pretty good. It's about a year standard. So the way the exploration licenses work, it's 3 years. And you say what the drilling commitment and the budget is, and if you fulfill them, it takes a few months, but you get an approval for another 2 years, and you can do it twice.
Local staff is available.
Yeah, Oh, yeah. They're great. Drilling costs in Armenia, I didn't mention this. It's $250 a meter all in. I mean, I'm rounding up. Like, if I really wanted to tighten the screws on my partners, I could probably get it done for 210, 220.